I went in on KD yesterday.
Uh-oh.
I did. I couldn't sleep last night. I'll be honest. Couldn't sleep.
I believe you.
I went in on KD bad, and then I saw Giannis at the end of the night, and it made it all worth it because I was like, if KD tries to attack me, Giannis, we good in these streets. But today I defend Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, who's really at fault for this mess going on in Brooklyn? It's not KD. It's Kyrie. Shady, I know Kyrie's your guy. I know you had him on your other show. You had him on your pod. Kyrie is the reason for all of the drama going on in Brooklyn because it was Kyrie's house. Kyrie got there first. And if it's your house and you are there first, physically that is, clearly they arrived at the same time, but Kevin Durant was hurt. If it's your house and you get there first, any mess that occurs at the house, it's on the person who was there first. Joy, if you're throwing a house party and you're like, hey, Acho, can you come help me clean? I got some guests showing up. If the house don't get cleaned, it's not on Emmanuel Acho. It's on the one and only Joy Taylor because it's your house. The Brooklyn Nets are Kyrie Irving's house because he got there first physically. So when COVID came around and Kyrie was like, I don't feel like playing basketball and I don't think you should play basketball either. Then you fast forward to the next season. That was the bubble when COVID came around the first time. Then you fast forward to the following season and Kyrie Irving, you recruit James Harden to come play with you, but then you so absent due to injuries and people calling you the N-word, you don't feel like playing ball, that you dismiss certain games. Then the following season, we're still dealing with COVID. Now, Kyrie, you don't want to get vaccinated. The house is a mess. And it's not KD's fault. It's Kyrie's fault. Shady, for the first time, I think in the last 2 days, you agree with me. So I got to hear your thoughts.
You was going, baby. You was going.
My dog.
I got to agree with you, man. I think it goes to Kyrie. Most of this blame with this team, with the Nets, is Kyrie Irving. Because on the court, he does magic, right? But you have to be available to be on the court.
Facts.
He's only played in, 16 games with Harden and KD, right? And then he missed, 29 games last year? Only played in 29 games. It's like, so if I'm on a team, right, and, okay, we go out and we get KD. Kyrie and KD, they plan this. We're going to play together, the Nets, 2 superstar players, right? And then we go get James Harden, all of us together. They're like the favorites for a while.
Talk about it.
And then if I'm the Nets, because I understand why they don't want to commit to him. Okay, listen, hey, this is the contract, right? You signed it. I don't want to hear about no shots, right? Getting vaccinated. I don't want to hear about what's going on outside these locker rooms. I need players that's here to play to win, because the ultimate goal is to win the championship. I'll try to relate them to football. When we had Tom Brady, right, with the Bucks. Thanks, Tom, for my ring. Okay. It was in quarantine, right? And the COVID hit, and there was all these different rules that we had to abide by, right? And the thing was, Tom had his own meeting. Listen, I'm here to win championships. That's what I'm here to do, right? You guys are brought here to
He called a separate meeting.
Yeah, separate meeting.
Away from the coaches.
Away from coaches. I'm the leader. We're trying to win championships. And if you can't get vaccinated to win a goal, to go to a championship, that's the main goal. If you can't do that, then you can't be here. So I look at Kyrie Irving, listen, you're a great talent, but the main goal was to win by any means. And if you can't do that, you can't commit to him.
I like it, Slick. You're writing profusely. What you thinking?
That you're both wrong.
Oh, we both were wrong.
Yeah. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight now. Hearing that mess. It's Kevin Durant. For the simple reason, who's the more powerful player? I don't care who came first. They agreed to go there together.
Right.
Who's the more powerful player?
Fair.
Is it Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving?
Kevin Durant, sir. Kevin Durant,
Shady?
sir.
Shady?
Kevin Durant.
Thank you. You just gave me a comparison. Tom Brady brought them together, said, what are you here for? Are you here to win?
Here to win.
Then get vaccinated. Who is supposed to do that for the Brooklyn Nets? Kevin Durant. He's the one who's supposed to go to Kyrie Irving and say, he's not supposed to co-sign that, hey, do whatever you want to do. What are the 2 reasons that Kevin Durant went to the Brooklyn Nets? 1, to play with Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving, yeah.
Kyrie playing? Where are you, dog? I came here to play with you.
You're right.
What was the second reason?
Want a ring?
Maybe it was the first reason.
You right.
No, I won't be the captain of my own ship.
Fair.
Oh, here we go.
I can win rings,
Here we go with this.
but I can't be the captain of my ship. I can't be the guy, the reason that we win. So, KD, if you went to Brooklyn to play with Kyrie and to be the captain of the ship, then play with Kyrie and be the captain of the ship.
Fair. Joy?
Try to bust, huh?
Make some points, Slick, but this is still on Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is a professional. He's a grown man. He gets paid a lot of money to play basketball, and he chose to not play basketball this season. He played in 29 regular season games and 4 postseason games.
I got to tell you, the
Only 4 'cause they
glasses
got
have an
swept.
impact, or having an impact right
Thank
now.
you.
No, glasses
She's a
fly.
little more convincing than you guys. I'm just saying.
Joey, the glasses are fly, though. They are fly. I'll give you credit.
Thank you. So let me do some teaching. Kyrie is the one who's to blame in this situation. In hindsight, this shouldn't be really surprising to anyone because we've seen enough evidence that this is how Kyrie handles his business. This is not really a massive surprise to anyone who's followed Kyrie's career. As you said, on the court, he's magic. There's very little that you can do to poke holes in his game. He's not great defensively, but so what? Some players are just amazing on offense, and you take what you get on the defensive end. But the issue with Kyrie is everyone keeps pushing him into being in the Robin role, like the number 2, right? We know he's not number 1 because he had that opportunity in Boston, and we know how that all went. Boston reminds him every time he steps foot in the building how that went. He's a 3. He's a 3, and he can be a 3. He can be a 3 on a championship team. He's a 3. He's
Shots
3.
fired.
By 3, you mean like the 3rd best player, not like he's playing small forward. Like
No, I mean the 3rd best player.
Wow. So wait, is Batman, Robin, who's the third? Who's the third?
Alfred.
Oh, Alfred.
Hey, listen, Alfred comes through now, and nothing happens without Alfred. Nothing happens without Alfred. Here's my point. KD is obviously a number 1. Not only is he the talent number 1, he is Finals MVP. He was the best player on those teams. We've had this discussion for the last couple days. We know what KD is capable of. Do I think he needs to be a little bit more pushy with Kyrie? I would agree with you there.
He needs to be a number 1.
Yes, but I think he can be the leader on a championship team. The problem with Kyrie being forced into a 2 is he's not reliable. You can't rely on him as a number 2. Your number 2 guy's got to be a Jaylen Brown. Your number 2 guy's got to be a Klay Thompson. Your number 2 guy has to be a Chris Middleton. They're not the talent level necessarily of the number 1, but you can rely on them. You know what you're going to get with them night in, night out, and off the court as well.
Let me back up that point. So, Slick, I like where you're going because I do think Kevin Durant, though he is a number 1 in stature, a number 1 in talent, he does need to be more assertive with his game and with his alpha presence, leadership ability. Keep in mind, Alex Caruso, during the bubble year that the Lakers won the championship, missed his sister's wedding to stay in the bubble because he did not want to miss time because he followed his leader of LeBron James. Kevin Durant couldn't even get Kyrie to play in a game because somebody called him an N-word. So we just got a whole bunch of issues here. But, Slick, here's my bigger deal. You can't be absent and a distraction. You got to pick one. Yesterday, Joy, Shady texted me after the show. He said, hey, Acho, I'm coming with you to this movie premiere. I said, bet. Giannis had his movie. Come with me to the premiere. It was great. Shady texted me right before the movie premiere. Man, my bad, big bro. I can't make it. That's fine. He was absent. But the pivotal mistake that Shady did not make is to text me during the whole movie. Hey, how is it, big dog? Hey, is it good? Hey, man, Giannis, how it going? Hey, who the lead? He wasn't absent and a distraction. He picked one sin. Kyrie Irving got both sins. He's absent, and he's also a distraction. Kyrie, how are you going to show up in a game you can't play with your significant other and sit in the front row of a game that you can't play in? Not even with the bench. Because, Slick, he's both absent, but then he's also going to be a distraction because now everybody's talking about Kyrie and his fit. And, oh, who is Kyrie with? Instead of focusing on the game, pick a sin. I don't mind you being absent. That happens at times. You can't be absent, Slick, and a distraction.
I'm not mad at that, but here's the distinction, is that KD at no time said, Kyrie, to your point, you can't be absent and be a distraction. He never laid down the law. And who with the Brooklyn Nets has the authority and the ability with Kyrie Irving to lay down the law? I came to play with you. If you're having an issue on the show with you and Marcellus, who else can talk to you about where the show's going other than Marcellus? Like, that's your boy. You created this thing together. That's what KD and Kyrie did. So if KD had said, look, Kyrie, you either got to get vaxxed or you got to step to the side, and Kyrie still was a distraction, then I am with you 100%.
Fair.
Kyrie is at fault. But KD never took the action required. The fact that we're saying he's a number 1, except he could have done a little bit more number 1 stuff,
but he don't know that, though.
Is the whole.
Here's my problem. We got to go back to Joy's analogy. Can we go back to Batman, Robin, and Alfred? I'm not going to rock with Alfred because I don't think Kyrie's an Alfred, but I hear you. Let's go back to Joy's analogy for a second. Batman doesn't say, okay, Robin, it's time to go save some people. Robin just watches what Batman does and says, hey, we about to go save some folk. Batman doesn't say, hey, I need you to shoot that villain. Robin just looks and says, oh, Looks like we got some villains to take down. Slick, you know this. In high-level ball, I don't have to instruct my teammate on everything to do. Shady didn't call me before every Eagles game like, hey, Acho, I need you to go tackle DeMarco Murray. It's within my job description to go tackle DeMarco Murray. It's within my job description to go stop the opposer. I don't think that always that, well, KD, you need to hold Kyrie's hand as y'all skip through this field of lilies and daisies. I think KD needed to really, he kind of did what he needed to do.
That's the way it's supposed to be. But that's not the way it is. This is what we know about Kyrie Irving. Immensely talented. But was he a handful in Cleveland? Yeah, he was a handful in Cleveland. He was a handful.
Was he?
What do you mean?
In Cleveland.
Elaborate.
Yeah, please.
No, you guys aren't aware of him going off the reservation or them having to talk him back down, how he was isolating himself and they had to bring him back into the crew. Happened in Boston. Like, trust me.
His reputation,
Kyrie Irving was not like
he's
the
LeBron.
true
He's the
number
best leader
two
you can
there.
have. So, I mean,
and that's the other part. That's the other part for me. What is KD? Where's the rivalry? What's KD always wanted to be? What did he do when he went to Golden State?
Beat on LeBron.
And he knocked off LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, I want to, production company. Like, quietly, KD has been in competition with LeBron all along the way. What would be better in that competition than to let Kyrie, this is how we do things. But he has not done that. And that's why, for me, still,
I can't blame KD for that.
KD is the only one who has the authority to tell Kyrie how it is with the Brooklyn Nets, and he never did.
Dora, you look like you're biting your tongue.
Well, I think the other issue with Brooklyn is they have no identity and they have no culture. They don't even have respect for their head coach. Kyrie was reportedly having separate practices after the head coach. When they came together, they both openly talked about how they don't really need a coach. Like, Kyrie could be the coach one night, and KD could be the coach one night. Steve could be the coach one night, which obviously we all know is absurd. Right. It's actually really disrespectful to what coaches do, which is a massive responsibility outside of just the head coach, the entire coaching staff.
So who enabled that?
So I don't think that KD is without fault here.
Thank you.
But I can't, in the sense that he is, you are right, he is the only one that can
I'm a plus
say
one
something.
now.
You're right.
Can say something to Kyrie. But that doesn't absolve Kyrie of the bulk of the responsibility for what's gone on here. He's made choices that have affected the winning in Brooklyn by choosing to not be available. Whatever you feel about vaccinations is completely irrelevant. It was his choice. I've been told I was supposed to be a magnet for like 6 months now. I still can walk around forks. I don't know. One of these days, my superpowers is going to kick in. Whatever your opinion about it is irrelevant. The fact was that this was a requirement by the city of New York for him to be there, and he chose not to do it. So at the end of the day, to me, it's about culture. Because here's the example I'll give you real quick.
Talk to me.
Andrew Wiggins.
Oh, right.
He didn't want to do it.
Go ahead, preach to the choir.
He didn't want to do it.
Nope.
And what did he do?
Yeah,
He got it.
that
He didn't
championship.
grow a horn.
That's right.
And they won a championship. And now his life and his legacy is completely different.
I know
and
it's
what
different,
was-
but they are
and what
different
was
players,
said-
too, though.
And what
They
was
are.
said by Steph Curry? I hope he does the right thing. We're going to trust that he's going to do the right thing.
Come
Did
on,
Kevin
see, you
Durant
can't-
here's what I'm gonna do.
ever?
That's probably like Draymond saying, hey, go get vaccinated.
Let's be real, though.
Steph.
Now we're going to have a real conversation. You can plead the fifth if you need to. Some dudes are just bad kids. Let's just be honest. Like, Slick, you got kids. Some kids they're just some bad kids. You can tell some what to do.
I agree.
Others are just going to act out. In Philly, D-Jack, before he matured. Now, D-Jack that's your dog. It's your boy. It's your boy.
What you
I
about
told
to
you
say
you can
now?
plead the fifth. Deshaun Jackson, a bad
Better
man.
not plead the fifth.
He's a bad man. Deshaun Jackson, to me, maybe the greatest deep threat in the history of football.
Is.
Randy Moss, Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson.
Fair. I'll give you that.
Okay.
I remember being in Philly. I was a young buck. Shady was there. Shady was kingpin. Deshaun Jackson, king. This is a true story, y'all. We had to wear black socks to practice. Had to. Everybody was supposed to. White socks to practice.
Socks.
Y'all see where I'm going. This is a true story.
But this is small.
We had to wear white socks to practice. But one dude was going to wear black socks. And that one dude was going to be D-Jack. Now, Chip said, head coach,
I
hey,
wear black socks, too.
Chip said, hey, y'all know y'all got to wear white socks. But there's certain dudes, even if you tell them what to do, they going to do their own thing regardless. And it does not matter, Kevin Durant, if you tell Kyrie Irving to get vaccinated, Kevin Durant, if you tell Kyrie to, because some dudes are just going to do their own thing and live by the beat of their own drum.
With you.
I give that example to say Kyrie Irving is one of those dudes. There's nothing Kevin Durant could do to change what Kyrie Irving was acting like, just like there was nothing Chip could do in that locker room.
But there's levels, though, to superstars. Like, every superstar comes with some baggage. LeBron James comes with some baggage, right? He does what he wants. Pull into the game with the wine, and you know, like every star has their own thing.
You can tell Shady's been around me a couple of days now.
No, I'm serious. I have my own thing. Like the Chip Kelly, like I'm not doing that stuff. I'm here to win games. And I'm the best player you got here, so just let me play. But I think to win a championship is different. Like you talk about Andrew Wiggins. Listen, Kyrie, I think KD probably had conversations and talks. Hey, look, we trying to win a championship, right? Then we brought Harden here. You know, we're trying to win games. So when you're not here because you're not getting vaccinated,
can you win championships with that kind of mindset? Because you said it yourself. Like, can you win championships?
Yes. Okay, maybe not the way Kyrie was doing it. I think he went too far. But there's a lot of superstars like Kawhi Leonard. He got his own agenda. He works on, right? And he won championships. So I think it's just too much. If it's too much, Kyrie.
I also where I would push back is, and this is why I use the example that he's a 3, is that talent-wise he's great on the court when he chooses to be on the court, which is what you have to say when you talk about Kyrie, which is what knocks him down from a 1. But where I would put him in a 3 is the reliability factor.
Yeah, that's big.
Yes, you could you can show up at work with wine when you're LeBron James, because that's the king. King does what he wants.
But they all
Kyrie is not the king. He's not. And he's not even the king of his own. He's not even the king of his own team. And then when you put yourself in the situation that Kyrie did with his choices, that's where I say you can't have him as somebody on a championship team that you have to rely on. Can he contribute to a championship team?
Of course.
Of course he can.
Sure, he did.
But at this point, yes. But at this point, you have to look at his body of work and evaluate what availability level he's going to have.
That's true.
Flick, final thought.
I'm not going to compare socks worn at practice, color of socks worn at practice.
I agree with this. He's right.
With vaccination.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
it's levels to it. It's levels.
Yes, exactly. You can have certain allowances, but you got to know where to draw the line.
That's right.
And again, you may be right with Kyrie, but KD never drew the line. Draw the line, and then
we
if
don't
Kyrie
know, we
goes
don't know
over
that.
it, now it's on Kyrie.
That's fair. KD didn't draw a line. Steph Curry doesn't have to draw a line because they just follow the leader.